that's not the first nor will be the last time somebody does that.
Man, shut up, bitch.
Did you know Cam Newton is a black quarterback? Did you know that? Because Cam Newton wants you to know he's a black quarterback. He also wants to tell you that that is why he has faced skepticism and criticism during his career. The same Cam Newton that was allegedly kicked out of the University of Florida when he was Tim Tebow's backup and he was set to take over for that amazing Florida Gators team. He got kicked out of Florida for allegedly stealing a computer and allegedly, I believe he was supposedly cheating on his schoolwork, and he got kicked out. He eventually came over to Auburn, and he became the starting quarterback, and he had, in my opinion, the greatest college football season I had ever seen up to that point, and I'm an Alabama fan, so that's not easy for me to say. But he went on to have that all-time great season. He won the Heisman Trophy. He won a national championship. He then became the first overall draft pick, and he has been an NFL starter since. He has been to the Super Bowl, and he has shown us how he choked in the Super Bowl because he was scared to dive on a football that could have won him an actual ring. But Cam Newton, through all of his diva behavior, all of his pouting on the sidelines, all of his whining, all of his pouting and running away from conversations and press conferences, Cam Newton wants you to know that he's been held back as a black man. That's the card that Cam Newton is pulling. The New England Patriots deserve this. Now, again, I am a Tom Brady fan. I've always been a Brady fan, and so obviously I've been pulling for the New England Patriots for the last whatever, years, 10, 15, 20 years. Now that we've gotten to the point where Belichick and Brady have finally split, I have always been on the side that Tom Brady made that dynasty, not Bill Belichick. That's not to say Bill Belichick is not a great coach, because he clearly is a great coach, and you would have to be a fool to say otherwise. But Tom Brady has moved on, and Cam Newton is there. Cam Newton has not even started his first game, and Bill Belichick is already bending over for Cam. Bill Belichick went on like a 2.5-minute praise fest of Cam Newton the other day. He never does that. He never did that with Tom Brady, but yet he has a diva for a quarterback, and he has to massage his ego. And we're already seeing Bill Belichick have to treat Cam differently than he's ever had to treat Tom Brady or any other player for that nature since his time as being the New England Patriots head coach. So it's just funny to watch this all play out. Now we have Cam Newton pulling the race card because any criticism he has ever faced in his entire career, ladies and gentlemen, it's only been because he's a black man. He has been struggling and held back. Poor millionaire, poor starting quarterback for two major universities, or at least one major university, and the other he was poised to be the starting quarterback for until he and his actions got him kicked out of the university. He then wins the Heisman. He wins the national championship. He goes on to become the first overall draft pick, but oh my goodness, he has been held back, ladies and gentlemen. He has been held back. Wow. I'm so sorry for you, Cam. I feel so bad for you. Here we have an interview he did with WEEI. There was an endless discussion about how Cam Newton might fit with the New England Patriots. The Patriots had a need for a quarterback when Tom Brady signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Newton sat in free agency for months, waiting for a quarterback-needy team to sign him. When Newton finally signed with the Patriots, a few media members were skeptical that Newton and Bill Belichick could coexist. Newton addressed the elephant in the room during a candid interview with WEEI, and he believes the skepticism was racially charged. Of course he does. Of course he does. Honestly, we're going to be honest, it is because I'm a black athlete, a quarterback, that for a long time I've been unapologetic. It's because I've carried myself in a way that the media hasn't gave me my just due. But at the same time, I do understand that I don't have no type of resentment towards that. I embrace who I am. I embrace the moment. I live for the moment. What? No, dude. Like, the reason the skepticism was there is because Tom Brady has been the quarterback for 20 years. And it's very famously known that Bill Belichick would cuss Tom Brady out just like any other person on that team. And that is very rare from a top-tier quarterback. And you're the guy that when your team is losing, you sit on the end of the bench with the towel over your head and you pout. You're the guy You're the guy that runs from questions when reporters ask you tough questions. Tom Brady has always been very professional and very almost robotic-like with his press conferences, saying the right thing and running the Patriot way. So the skepticism is based on your behavior as a human being, not as your behavior as a black man or a black quarterback, as you say.
You've seen them, studied them. Was it pretty much what you had seen on film? Was there anything different you think they put in for this game?
Nothing different.
Yeah, do we sometimes, I mean, I know football players don't forget, but do we sometimes forget the defense is still taking...
But this is where we are in 2020, and Cam goes on to say a lot of things, the politically correct stuff, and that's totally fine. You know, it's a long interview, and he talks about, you know, Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb were the only two active black quarterbacks, and there was an image you had to look like. Like, it's all about race. It has nothing to do with race. Randall Cunningham was one of my favorite players back in the day. Nobody questioned Randall Cunningham. Why? This was back in like the 80s. Why? Because Randall Cunningham carried himself like a normal human being. And he didn't pout. And he wasn't a prima donna. And he didn't wear the stupid shit that Cam Newton wears. Like, Cam Newton has brought the criticism that Cam Newton has received on himself. And because of the way that he has acted his entire career, even going back to Florida, even going back to Auburn, the way that he has carried himself in the arrogant way and the diva-like wide receiver mentality he's had, when you are the person that follows Tom Brady in New England, you're going to face some questions, especially when your behavior has been like it's been your entire career. But you want to pull the race card because of course you do. Because that is 2020 in a nutshell. It's always about race. It's always about gender. It's always about this. Maybe it's about your behavior as a human being. Now, again, is Cam Newton talented? Of course he's talented. I just got done saying that he had the single greatest college football season I have ever seen. And I stand by that. I do believe that his season was even better than Joe Burrow's this past college football season. And I'm a college football fan. I've seen them all. I've seen them all because I pay attention to college football. Cam Newton's 2010 is still the best, most impressive season I've ever seen. Cam has talent. Cam has a lot of talent. You go back to his first couple of NFL games, I believe he passed over 400 yards his first two NFL games. He is an incredible talent. He has talent that we have rarely seen at the quarterback position, but he doesn't have what it takes from a mental standpoint. If he did, he would have dove on that football in the Super Bowl, but instead he ran from it. And the memes were glorious. The memes were glorious when that happened. I loved it. But that has nothing to do with the color of your skin, Cam. That had to do with you couldn't handle the biggest moment. Any player in that position that didn't dive on the ball would have been criticized. We have seen you run from press conferences. We have seen you pouting on the bench. We have heard your own teammates be critical of your behavior as a leader. So the questions about you going to New England and playing for Bill Belichick are very valid from the standpoint of how you have carried yourself your entire career and the fact that you're following the great Tom Brady. But you want to pull the race card because of course you do. So we will continue to watch this. It's a fascinating story. Watching and seeing how things play out in New England with Cam Newton taking over for Tom Brady. Polar opposites in terms of how they play the game, on the field, off the field, how they carry themselves on the sidelines. You couldn't have two different quarterbacks. That is a fascinating storyline. Do I think that the Patriots will be decent this year? Absolutely. Do I think there's a chance they can make the playoffs? Absolutely. It's Bill Belichick. He's a great coach. And the Patriots have had a winning structure and a winning culture for so long. But I do believe Tom Brady is the most important piece to that puzzle. And we're going to see what happens. Now, he's 43 years old, but I think he's got as good a shot as he's had in a long time to win a Super Bowl in Tampa. We will see. But other than that, hopefully, this is as far as we have to go with the identity politics nonsense with Cam Newton running his mouth. But I think we all know that we're heading for a very, very interesting and potentially very divisive NFL season, depending on how these players act. And you know that we're going to call them out here at Sports Wars. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for checking out this video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Check out geeksandgamers.com, our website. And we have all types of different content from across YouTube if you're interested in that. From our Geeks and Gamers channel to our Park Hoppin' channel to our Gaming with Geeks channel. We got a lot going on. See you over in the forums on geeksandgamers.com, and we will talk to you later.